Welcome back to the desk, everybody. Here we are in Game 4 of the day, and tonight we see Team O facing off against Team Sky. There was a bit of a hot swap on the caster desk. We did replace Wumbo with Decerux, and he's going to be taking my place as a play-by-play caster while I take a step back and do a bit more analyzing. How you doing, Des?
It's Doc O'Clock with a deck aftershock, and I'm ready to watch a match that everyone's going to want to catch. I'm doing great, ready to cast some Phoenix League. This is going to be an exciting game. Team O versus Team Sky. We got a good matchup right here.
Yeah, and there's some big names on that Team Sky, some maybe even recognizable, and they burned through that ban phase really quickly. And it's kind of interesting. I mean, an Urgot ban, not what we're used to seeing. Aatrox as well. I don't believe either team missed or was supposed to miss a ban, but that is not what these bans seem to signal to me. What do you think, Dex?
I have no clue. Very weird to see these bans seem somewhat throwaway with two of them at least.
Yeah, the Galio as well is not available for this days of matches, so probably a placeholder, so not something that I believe is going to get picked up. Malzahar Graves, though, definitely something we can talk about there. Malzahar still seeing tons of play in this bot lane, just a lot less damage focused than what we're used to seeing.
And the Draven Hover coming out. Very interesting pick to go for right now. It's risky. You're putting a lot of money into the fact that if you snowball, you do really well, but if you don't, you crash and burn.
I don't know if crash and burn is quite the right phrase there. I mean, there's still plenty of damage coming in from the Draven axes. That being said, not going to be the pick. Kha'Zix's Sivir are what we get to see tonight.
Very interesting pickups coming up so far. Sivir with the On the Hunt, providing a lot of movement speed for our team, a lot of mobility when it comes to these team fights. So it's going to be interesting to see what picks actually come out next from Team O.
Yeah, Team Sky, though, are still in the running. ManCloud is clicking and hovering the Talon. That would be a fun watch. We haven't seen any large mid lane assassins yet today, and that is something that is very volatile. And it does get locked in. It's something that provides a lot of map pressure, a lot of uncertainty for Teemo, because you never know when that Talon is just going to come hopping over the wall.
Yeah, very interesting picks coming out from Sky.
I mean, Graves Lucian we kind of expect. It's something that a lot of people are catching up on. Graves, tier 0 jungler still. There's not much that can compete with him at every stage of the game. The Lucian is super coming back with the cooldown adjustments to him, along with the Blade of the Ruined King coming through with its buff.
And we are going to get a remake due to the fact that Team Sky did grab Galio, and they were unaware that it's not on the board currently.
Yeah, so we are going to be getting right back into the picks there. Once again, Galio not allowed this week. We'll be back next week with a vengeance, though. So I'm excited to get into next week as we go along. But for now, we are going to have to see something different in the top lane. Nautilus still available. Maokai still available. Camille was taken off. We also still have Gnar, Fiora.
Yeah, same bands going out.
Anything I'm missing?
As per usual.
I don't think I'm missing any other huge top lane picks unless we just get a complete surprise coming in. But now we will get a chance to see what Team Sky are taking in place of the Galio. They're actually going to hide it for now. So they'd pick up that Lucian.
Or
the Renekton is something.
Here's a pick you may have missed.
They're playing with our emotions. But I do expect them to lock in the Graves, and we're going to get the normal picks back for Hamlet. What did they pick here? They picked the Sivir and the Kha'Zix. That's what was the pick.
Let's see if they go with the same thing.
I don't expect them not to. I mean, they still get to hide that mid lane, that top lane, and hopefully get, a little bit of knowledge with Team Sky's second round of picks. This time, before we knew the Galio, we knew that the top lane was going to be that Galio. At least we thought. I mean, Galio can work in just about every role except AD carry. But
they swapped it out with the Caitlyn instead of the Sivir.
Talon once again going to pick up. This is kind of a bold mid lane pick coming out. It's kind of feast or famine. Talon can fall quite far behind, but we'll just have to see what Hamlet decides to pick into it as we possibly see Team Sky's top laner coming out.
Wow. I wasn't expecting the Echo.
Yeah, there's a lot of surprises in this Team Sky draft already coming out. I am curious whether we're going to be seeing the top lane Talon or the top lane Echo. Or maybe the top lane Graves.
Coming out.
Could be a top lane Graves. That'd be fun to watch. With Echo in the jungle? That wouldn't really work out, I guess. So now, these last couple picks, the Orianna Hover seems to be the thought process there. It does very well into just about every mid laner. Very safe, very secure, not really too much one way or the other, and can still just solo team fights with that Shockwave.
Going with the brand on support, very, very ballsy pickup to take on support. Can do a lot of work if they get it to work well, especially with the high damage, having the ignite, having everything else that comes with the brand, including the CC. Be very oppressive in lane, especially considering that Lucian has a mid-game power spike, usually just by buying the Blade of the Rune King.
Yeah, very feast or famine team comp coming out for Team Sky. So we are going to have to find out whether they can pull off this early game victory, or if they can kind of just survive mid-game, try and win those late-game team fights and get going from there. It's going to be something that I'm excited to watch. I'm curious to see how it's going to play out overall, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong here.
Yeah, so I got to ask you, which team do you think is going to take it based on team comps alone?
Looking at just the team comps, I think Team O has a bit more collectiveness, a bit more cohesion. I mean, we have the Kha'Zix and the Swain going in deep, followed up by the Command Protect Shockwave. Lots of things that can go there. But when you look at Team Sky, you have the Echo diving deep. You have the Talon diving deep. You have a Brand throwing out his ultimate just all over the place and getting onto everybody. Collateral damage, end of the line. And there's just a lot that can really swing a fight Team Sky's way. But one thing you also kind of have to take into matter is pretty much all of Team Sky is a challenger level player. And that is definitely going to play into Team O's mentality. So it's if they play scared, I definitely have to give this over to Team Sky. But if they have faith in their players and faith in their picks, then it very well could go their way as well. But if you're asking me to draw a line in the sand, I am going to give it to Team O.
Very interesting. I'm based on comp alone, I do prefer Team Skies, and yeah, it's feast or famine, but I like the power that can spike out from the mid game when it comes to this team composition. If we look at Teemo, they have a great comp that works well with team fighting, but if Team Sky can just win out lanes outright and start getting the roam and never present that 5v5 moment, just constantly oppress Teemo with the comp they have, it can really just work well for them, and they can run away with the game when it comes to the mid game.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's actually going to come down to the two assassins on Team Sky. I mean, Echo gonna have a bit of a rough laning phase heading into the Swain. Swain can throw out the bird, get lots of damage down early on, and then once he hits 6, just sustain through a lot. But if we're seeing an Assassin Echo build coming out in that top lane, that's a lot of burst that Swain might not be able to deal with early on.
We're gonna have to find out soon enough. Not gonna be easiest matchup either way around it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see really how this early game plays out. I mean, we saw last game a really odd invade that ended up giving first blood to the top laner really early on, and that just kind of snowballed out of control from there. So in this game, I don't think we're gonna quite see the same thing. I don't think we're going to be seeing such an early level 1 invade. Neither team really has the tools to make it exceptional. But I do think that both teams are just going to fan out. They're not really going to try and force anything spectacular early on. And they're going to try and wait and see how the early game goes into the mid lane.
We'll be finding out soon enough as we get in to this game. Phoenix League, Ascension eSports, Teemo versus Team Sky.
So while we got a second here before the team loads in, let's take a look at the two teams. We have Team O on the blue side featuring Overrate, Imperial Peace, Hamlet, Fate, and Murdoch.
Meanwhile, on Team Sky, we have Sita, Mandatory Cloud, Fear, and Arisira. Asirnira?
I was going to say, there's an N in there somewhere. That's...
Yeah. Acinira.
An ace gets the ace. That's what I want to hear. But, so, looking at the two teams, I'm excited. There's a lot that can happen here. And we see Fervor coming out for Lucian, which seems to be the way to go. We're seeing a lot of kind of indecision on that Lucian pick. Lots of different build paths, lots of different keystones. So to see where this goes, I'm kind of expecting a Blade of the Ruined King first. It seems to be the one constant through everything. But we're just going to have to wait and see. In the mid lane, however, we do see a difference in thought process here. We see Hamlet going with the barrier. Definitely doesn't want to die early on to the poke from, or the all-in from Talon, whereas we see the ignite on Talon. Wants to get that kill, wants to get rolling, and we'll just have to see who is the victor there.
We are going to be in game now. Be a good matchup. Looking forward to how this plays out. It's a very team fight versus I would put them more towards a pick comp in Teemo versus Team Sky.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something to watch. If the picks start coming out very quickly for Team Sky, it's just going to snowball completely out of control, and there's not a whole lot for Team O to combat it with. There's no true tank. There's no real reliable engage outside of the Malzahar ultimate, but once again, it's just something we're just gonna have to wait and see, really. Not quite getting that ward.
Yeah, unless you're Lucian or Leona, you're most likely not gonna get a ward level 1.
Renekton? That'd be a poor start, though, having to start with the stun.
Yeah.
But no level 1 action craziness yet. No Fiesta starting off early enough. Although this bot lane is feeling feisty starting way up in the lane like this.
Looking for a bit of cheese. Let's see if Teemo falls for it.
They are going to have to wait quite a while, and with them knowing that Graves is starting on the top side, I wonder if they're going to fall for it.
Looks like we're going to see a Raptor start come out from Imperial Beast. They are walking towards that lane in the bot lane, but no shenanigans coming out, only a little bit of autos.
Yeah, they didn't feel that it was quite going to work out. And this is kind of odd. I mean, it's a Raptor start. Yes, we've been seeing a lot of that, but was it quite what we were expecting? I mean, they looked almost like they were going to start on the blue buff and instead moved over. But early push coming in for Team Sky in that bot lane, and that could get hairy pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm curious about the path that Imperial Beast is going to take in this. Hamlet gets
Ignite
ignited
already onto Hamlet. The passive auto attack not able to come in though. ManCloud forced to back away.
A very aggressive play coming out from Mandatory Cloud already. Meanwhile, Sida in the top lane going after Overrate.
Overrate though has the minions. Oh, he loses the minion.
To disengage it. And here he goes again, going back in. He's gunning at the third proc, forces the flash. Sida so far doing well, but is a little bit low on health.
Lots of early game action. Potions burned pretty much everywhere. No potions in the top lane. No more refillable for ManCloud. Although Orianna's keeping that one potion in check.
Yeah, and we're already seeing Team Sky go for exactly what we were talking about earlier. They're trying to abuse the lane matchups, abuse the power they have early, and I'm just waiting for the mid game. I really want to see how that's going to play out. A lot of punishment coming here. Fade able to return shots onto Fear.
Yeah, pushing in this wave early, it does give the early level advantage to Team Sky and Lucian, but not quite coming into play yet. They were close enough to the tower that they didn't get the normal level 2 power spike where they just completely run up on you and kill you. But we do see Kama hanging out in the wings.
And there's a stun on the
stun!
Fade is ignited and he goes down. First blood picked up by Acenira.
The flash comes out from Murdoch to keep him alive for now, but in the top lane, we do see Sida picking up that kill. Imperial Peace does want a piece of this, though.
Well, Mandatory Cloud in the mid lane going very aggro onto Hamlet.
Does end up losing the trade. Orianna is one of those champions that can, you know, put in a bit of work. Whew!
Ooh, Overrate returns to losing half his health bar.
Yeah, kind of unlucky. Teleporting right into the middle of the lane makes it pretty easy for Sida to land that stun.
Here comes Imperial Peace. Looking to aggravate Kama a little bit.
Woo!
And this doesn't look good for Overrate. Overrate is in no man's land, gets dropped by Sida. Flash out, easy kill picked up.
And things are starting to go haywire for Teemo's top laner. Already down 0-2 in the lane. And on a champion like Swain, you really need that to not happen.
Yeah.
Whew.
It's not looking good so far. Swain, if you don't get off the ground at least evenly, you're not going to get off at all. It's very difficult because you have to hit that point where you can actually absorb damage.
Yeah, and especially with the builds that we're seeing come out of the Swain lately, you really need a lot of gold. It's not, and time even. It's not like the old days where, you know, Roa was a pretty quick build. You get that, let it stack up. And now, once again, caught out without the flash. The speed boost is...
Yeah, overrate. Walking straight into Kama, giving him an assist. Probably should have just taken the death.
Actually gives Kama the kill. And Fate...
And now Fate.
Whew! Oh, the flash!
What a play from Fear!
Oh, whew! Oh, baby!
Disaster for Teemo. And you know who's coming up right now. Seta looking to pick up the easy kill. Smacks him in the face.
Gonna survive on the back end as well. And disaster is abound for Team O. The one shining light is this mid laner. Hamlet has not gone down just yet. And a bit of a sneaky move coming in from this Team Sky bot lane.
Oh no, this is going to be very bad for Fate. Here it comes,
oh,
the stun.
There's the stun.
Fear's going to grab that so easily. No way, Sinira picks it up.
Cheeky monkeys hanging out in that lane bush there. And you could just see there was no idea coming in from Fate that they even might be there. Stun not going to land. Flash coming out. Imperial Peace finally getting a kill.
And finally on the board is Teemo. And Sita does so much damage to overrate. Third of his health remaining after one combo. There's the chrono break. Is he able to get in range? Does not, but he does send a message.
So little health remaining there from overrate. TP once again not available. Is forced to back. There's just simply no way he can compete with that yet. And not being able to finish his normal catalyst item, and also not being able to build magic resist due to delaying that too much. He's stuck at a crossroads of just dying, really. Fate a little too afraid to check that river bush. Doesn't quite know where a scenaria is.
Ooh, and there's another grass. This looks terrible for Fear. And now Teemo getting on the board with this game.
Yeah, bringing back their own bush shenanigans. But Kama knows he has the advantage, knows that there's no one to really contest this blue buff. Is going to back off, though.
A rough game, starting to get themselves on the board, trying to stop the bleeding. It's going to be a very difficult task, especially as we get into the mid game. We'll see if Teemo can actually ride this out.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of late game pressure. I mean, Murdoch with the catch out can land the Nether Grasp onto pretty much anybody and kill them. Neither team has a true tank. Yes, they'll get tank E, but like, there's no Nautilus, there's no Maokai, no one that can really survive getting picked. So once this mid game comes around, Vision game is going to be very, very impactful. And with Imperial Peace not picking up the warding smite, I fear that they might not have the vision they need.
So much cheekiness coming out of this brand support pick from Acenera. And right there, the ultimate is used. Doesn't do too much, but it is a lot of damage to take in terms of being pressured like this.
Collateral damage TP.
Everywhere. 5 just taking down Teemo's bot lane.
So very well played there. They knew they had the advantage. They had the TP come in. And there was just nothing to be done by the Teemo bot lane. And this Ocean Drake kinda compiles a lot of problems for Teemo. Is now that Team Sky collects this, they can hang out in lane a lot longer than they used to before.
And look at this battle going on. MadCloud almost gets the better of Imperial Peace.
Yeah, the Ignite and the passive were down. One more auto attack probably would have sealed it. But now that we're seeing a bit more team play coming in. It's almost like Teemo doesn't quite have a leg to stand on.
Nethergrass,
Flash
Man
in.
Cloud flashes the shockwave.
What a fantastic play there, and the action is not over.
Yeah, here we go with Sida going after Overrate, taking a lot of damage in this, uses the Chrono Break, but doesn't land the damage. Sida's gonna have to abandon that attempt. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Kama going after Murdoch. Murdoch drops the fear. Shockwave is down and mana is low, so Hamlet has to abandon any hope of returning kills.
What a great collapse in there from Kama. He knew that he had the damage to flash in, though. The Brand ultimate not quite gonna land.
We're looking pretty risky, but does actually get the kill. Drops. Shut down. Getting something on the board. Hamlet gets a shutdown, but it's very tough because they're gonna lose a tower despite getting anything in return.
Overrate trying to just dodge out these stuns as best he can, but Sida is unrelenting right now. So Bork finished up for Fear. It's getting to a point where nobody can even compete with the 80 carry. He's 3-1. Engage coming in though.
He doesn't have Chrono Break, so this is going to be very tough for him to escape. Finally shut down Imperial Peace, getting that gold.
Yeah, flashing from Overrate, you could really tell he wanted that gold for himself. He's feeling really, really left behind right now. With Vision once again becoming a bit of a problem for Team O. Whew.
Oh no, Overrate. Caught out, gets dropped easily by Kama, but we see that Acenira has been dropped by Hamlet meanwhile.
Yeah, Hamlet is really the shining light once again. About a wave over his lane opponent, but he's doing something in these fights. He's gotten 2 kills now, and on a carry like Orianna, it's gotta be the one thing keeping them mentally in this game.
But it's definitely an uphill battle considering just how far behind they are and how much they're willing to risk just to get picks. Very aggressive play over and over coming out from Sky.
Yeah, it's starting to get to a point where it's almost do or die already for Team O. I mean, they're getting outskilled very quickly here. We see Kama coming up to this top lane now.
Yeah, Overrate's gonna go down with this one. Can he get anything out of it? Does not. Chrono Break breaks him.
And when you come up with an old man with a cane, doesn't take much to break that. So once again, top tower is going to be going down finally. They decided they've had enough farming of Overrate. They're going to take the tower and try and put those people elsewhere. But I'm curious what the comms are on Team O actually. And I mean, I know it's only 14 minutes in, but at what point do they just kind of sack this game and focus on the next one? Granted, this is a best-of-1 series, so I don't mean next one is a next one against Team Sky. I just kind of meant...
Ooh, Imperial Peace getting caught out. He might get soloed by the support. It does! Acenira with the 1v1 on Imperial.
So a bit of a fun thing there is that because the Wolf Camp was still alive, it actually gave something for the Brand Ultimate to bounce off of and just triggered the passive like 3 times there. Just unlucky.
And the funny thing is, Cloud is always the most highlighted as he's been in LCS before, but he's the one that is 0-0-0 in this game right now. His team is doing some work, especially Kama, as we see right here, going after Overrate. No collateral damage shutout just yet. Fate gets a little bit too close. And just as I say that, Cloud is on the board with an assist.
Ow. I can hear Fate just sobbing into his arms right now after just trying to do something and getting caught with a talon in his face.
And so far, there's been no way to stop the bleeding. 16 minutes in, and we've already experienced the 10k deficit.
Do you think they're going to surrender, or are they going to play this one out?
I think most likely they're going to play it out. You know, you always want experience on how to play from behind. And this situation, at least you could try and use it as a learning experience. Try and make the best of what you've got, really.
So, follow-up question. Do you think it ends before 20 minutes?
See, that's the thing, though. The comp from Sky isn't that good at just, like, sieging and burning down towers, so it most likely won't end before 20 minutes, but it will be a devastating gold lead by then.
Yeah, I mean, already at 10k. They're farming Teemo's jungle. ManCloud just kind of doing whatever he wants in this bot lane. And the one shining light of Hamlet seems kind of neutralized by what they're doing here.
And we're seeing a gank come out of Imperial Peace, trying to go after Sida. Sida turns it around with ease! Running out of there ever so quickly. Overrate not able to catch up. Chrono Break, he's gonna turn it! Is he gonna be able to finish off Overrate? He
Shockwave.
Shockwave whiffs Hamlet. Not able to do too much, but Sida's gonna go back in.
Woo.
Still trying to go after Overrate. Burns his flash. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Fate caught out again. Drops. And Overrate drops as well. Sida grabbing that one.
I don't really know what to say at that point. I mean, the top lane play coming in from Sida knows very clearly how to work this champion. And then in the bot lane, just a bit of a lack of wards led to basically the entire rest of Team Sky to get in behind Teemo and just put their name out.
Yeah, this is so difficult for Teemo, and you have to give it to Team Sky. Their ability to just continuously pressure is so devastating.
Yeah, it's very hard to deal with a comp like this that once it gets ahead, it's very mentally taxing. Because you know that at any time, you know, Talon can park over the wall, Brand can throw down his combo, you know, you can get an Echo flying out of the bushwhack, and when you have that many corners to check, it's very hard on you to mentally fight that.
So here's a question for you now. 10 stack Sida on the Medjais. Do you think he makes it to 25?
I don't think he dies, but I'm not sure the game lasts long enough for him to hit 25, because it's about 2 stacks a kill. So if he does keep double killing the top laner and the support, then yeah, it's possible.
Oh, here goes Sida again, looking to take out Overrate. And this is just bullying at this point. Overrate 0-7-1.
Actually, is it 4 stacks for a kill? I thought it was 2. I know they changed it, but alright, in that case, yeah, he probably can do it.
Yeah, there's no stopping him whatsoever right now. It has to be comboed CC in order to hold him down, just to stop the Chrono Break.
Yeah, and then once the Chrono Break comes through, even if you're able to stop him for 4 seconds, the Chrono Break just puts him right back in the same spot, just at most health. So, I mean, I don't feel like this was like a drafting issue on either side. I mean, I feel like Sky picked a very solid draft that they had confidence in, but it isn't like Teemo picked a bad draft. All of these champions are something we see a lot of currently, and it seems like something that they thought would work effectively here.
I will beg to differ just a little bit. I don't like the Swain pick. Any other way around it, I just don't like it. I don't think it's a valid pick in the current meta. And especially with the way it's working out right now, it's been terrible for them. And it's caused this serious just destruction of Overrate. He's been outclassed, he's been outdrafted. It's not looking good for him, and they really got to consider picking more safe top laners, as in, not safe as in like play it safe all the time, but able to stay safe in the current meta.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to see a pure tank. Something that at least might be able to hold up against these kinds of picks coming in from Team Sky. Brand seems to be putting in, a good amount of work. We see the collateral damage getting blown there by Kama. So that is one thing they're not going to have for this next team fight, but it almost seems like they're not going to need it.
Yeah, they don't really care. Look at the damage that Overrate is taking right now. Taking his 8th death. No, he doesn't. Barely walks out alive.
Survives for now, but what more can be done from Teemo? They're facing a fight on two fronts. Baron available for all 5 members still as well.
And the way Sky are playing this, it's just without fear. They're willing to dive past tower after tower to do what needs to be done to get these objectives, to get these kills. It is rough. And Overrate once again, there's the 8th death. And meanwhile, Imperial trying to get onto Kama. Is he going to pick it up? Yes, he does. Finally, another kill picked up after so long.
No!
Take him out.
If he had just jumped like a Teemo further down, he wouldn't have aggroed the Raptors. But is this the end?
The fight. Shockwave goes out. Murdoch. Hamlet trying to run away from fear. Is he gonna get it? So close to picking up the kill. Arena. What a play! And this looks terrible for Fate. Fate trying to run, questioning himself. I miss Spring Jamboree for this. That takes him out.
Oh no, Sita is just playing havoc with their mental right now.
And he's one more kill shy of getting those 25 stacks. Does Sita find it? He's going for it right now. Imperial Beast trying to play spoiler.
Yes, 24.
Will he get it? Murdoch so close to dropping. Is it going to be enough? And that is 25 stacks. Sita, what a monster he is this game.
Went back to base. TP from Overrate coming in. Ace in the hole going to get blocked up by Edgenite. They're just farming champions right now. Overrate's going to eat one more. Can they get anything else? The game's going to end. Zonia's from Hamlet. That is game going over to Team Sky.
And a 23k gold lead, 23 minutes into the game. The game's over. What absolute destruction we just witnessed.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of words to be said. It is one of those things that you can't really come back from. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting having, I don't believe, Teemo does not have another game today. They played their 2 games and are going to be taking the rest of the day off until next week. But they know that this is a team they're going to have to play again.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's really hard to analyze this game when it was just so one-sided. It's hard to say what they should have done, what they could have done. At the end of the day, it was a very devastating defeat. And Team Sky, just overall, especially Sita, better.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the Swain didn't really have any tools to deal with the Echo, and Swain definitely has to get off the ground early or just doesn't get off at all, and finish the game with not a fully stacked Roa. I can't find out now how many stacks he had remaining. I believe he only capped at like 5 or 6. But looking at these damage charts, 23,000 damage from the Echo. I mean, the top lane Echo had 10 kills, had 1 death. It was just so oppressive and hard to deal with that no number of magic resist would make it worth it.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, if you combine the top 3 damage dealers from Teemo, that's pretty similar to the damage that Sita did all by himself. overall disgusting play coming out of Sita.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have much more to say. I mean, that was just a very active game, a very quick game coming in from Team Sky. That being said, I don't want it to sound like we're just completely harping on Team O. They had their moments. I think if they fix that draft phase a little bit, then they have some potential there. But they had some vision that just, when you're that far behind, there's not a whole lot you can do. But I definitely think they have potential to take some games in this league. This is the first week, though, so we definitely have games to watch. You have any final words, Des, heading into this one?
No, I just hope to see more of both of these teams, especially Teemo. I do think they're a good team. It was just a bad day for them, and I hope to see them come back, and I hope to see more from Sky, too, as well. Overall, good game.
So with that being said, guys, we do have one final game waiting in the wings, so stay tuned for that. It is going to be Team Sky versus Super Deadly Killer Ninjas. So stay tuned to that. We'll see if Team Sky can be as dominating as they were this game. But that's, like I said, waiting in the wings. We will be right back for that. Stay tuned, guys, and we'll be right back.
See you soon.